Hey, what's going on? It's your boy Greg again, Gregory. Um, and I just wanted to do another video with y'all. I just wanted to put out there that if anybody out there who watches this video and you see anything that interests you, or you disagree with anything, or you agree with something, don't be shy to connect with me. Leave a comment. Um, I'll respond back. Um, if you want to get together and do a video together, or do some sort of stream or some sort of conversation or debate, please hit me up. Let me know. Otherwise, please just enjoy the video and everything that comes with it. All right. Um, so what's going on my timeline today? Pretty much, it's been some interesting stuff. So I reported. I mean, everybody reported on Jimmy Carter dying. Uh, So he had a reputation as a Christian, but I just happened to see this article and I posted it on my Twitter. It was a retweet from Megan Beecham. Basically showed that this was a 2018 July 9th issue of The Hill, and it was saying how uh, Jimmy Carter was quoted as saying, "I believe that Jesus would approve gay marriage." Now, look, I understand that some Christians are Democrats, and I don't. I, they have some people have their reasons for it, but what I really don't understand is how I got into politics. I was always a Christian first, and how I got into politics. Um, I said, you know what? The only two issues that I am 100% sure that I know that I'm with is gay marriage and abortion, because I know God is against those two things, based on what I knew about the Bible and what I knew about Jesus and Scripture and everything. So for a president, smart guy, so-called Christian guy, to say, I think that Jesus would approve gay marriage, you're just either something's wrong with that. Like that's the Bible is clearly against homosexuality, calls it an abomination, and he says that marriage is between a man and a woman. So why would he say something like that? Again, I believe that uh, Christianity is grace through faith. But when you are a grown old man, because he was had to be in his 90s when he said this, because he died this year and he was 100 years old. So I mean, you pretty much have seen it all, know it all, everything like that. And for you to come to the conclusion that Jesus would approve gay marriage, that shows that I'd question the man's faith if he really thought that. Like, it would be one thing if he was like a new convert and he didn't really know any better. But you're 94 years old and you're still talking like that, and you were supposed to be like this lifelong Christian. Something is wrong there. So, but anyway, this was 6 years ago. So hopefully he repented from that, and he doesn't really believe that, or he just said it for clicks or whatever. And he, you know, because this, in my opinion, is a belief issue. This is not a works issue. This is, you're basically blaspheming the word of God, because you're saying that the Bible's saying one thing and it doesn't say it. So when you do stuff like that, that's a faith issue. That's not a works issue. Um, I have somebody that I follow, and he follows me, we share the same opinion on a belief on the gospel message, but he doesn't see it like, he thinks that the gay issue is just a work based work issue like every other issue. But I told him, I said, the gay issue is a little bit more deeper than just, you know something that you shouldn't do. these some of these people really believe that they're gay. Like some of these people really think that they are homosexual or whatever, and that's not good. I mean, like that's something that the Bible does not teach. The Bible does not teach that you're born gay. The Bible says it's a choice. So when you're trying to act like something you're born with, and you supposedly have this like relationship with God, like it just the two just doesn't mix. It's just what faith are you really believing in if you really think that you're born gay? Now you may have these gay feelings or whatever, but that's something that you know that God doesn't want you to do. And I've kind of been at this with multiple people, and sometimes I get bad reactions, but that's something I stand on, man. I really think that it's a choice, and if you believe that you're born gay, you have some sort of issue with the scripture. So, so that is something that I wanted to definitely get across. Um, so there was this situation with Tom Brady. He was doing an announce. He was one of the announcers in the Vikings Packers game. And look, man, Tom Brady's probably the most accomplished quarterback of all time. Seven Super Bowls, whatever. But yeah, he as an announcer, he makes a lot. He is very mediocre. They paid a lot because he's Tom Brady, and I guess that means something, obviously. But just as pure announcing skills, he ain't no John Madden. That's for damn sure. Because he could not remember that the Packers lost to the Vikings early in the year, and they were literally playing them that week. So I don't know. That was something that was definitely weird. That was awful. That's from awful announcing. Shout out to y'all. Um, the next topic I thought was interesting was from the Cartier family, and this group of four men who comment on political landscape, and basically they're commenting on this video where this woman or these people were complaining about um, an HBCU being invited to perform for Trump, and I just don't understand the divisiveness, man. Like they want to go support their country, they want to experience being invited to the White House. Why is this a bad thing? So it's like you can't win. You invite them, they want to go, and you're basically like criticizing them for like wanting to go. Like it's just crazy, man. Like I don't understand like what it is, but unfortunately, that's just how we are now. I mean, I get it though. I mean, honestly, if it was me, I don't know if I would want to perform, but you got to respect people who do want to perform. Like, all of a sudden, there's a lot of people who wanted to go see Biden at the White House. Yeah, you may like question it or whatever, but to make a whole video about it on social media and saying how these people are not good people or whatever, it's just not good. Like, I don't understand that, man. Like, some people just respect certain people. Maybe you don't understand it, but they're doing it because they want to do it, and just honor it, and just that's it. So the next tweet is from Peter D. Abroska. Um, so he has a tweet talking about the H-1Bs visas, and it's saying how companies are required by law to offer jobs to Americans before hiring H-1Bs, but to get around that, they will post jobs in tiny print in local newspapers, but they won't print any contact information because they don't want Americans to find the ad, and they don't want Americans to get that job. These H-1B visas. The more information I'm finding out about this, is just crazy, man. Like Americans can do this job. It's absolutely nonsense that they're just trying to say that Americans can't do this job. These people, these owners, they want to undercut. They want to undercut Americans, and hopefully Trump does something about it. But the way Trump was talking about Elon Musk and H-1Bs, sounds like he's all for it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know. Um, the next tweet that I see is from Science Girl. I love this. I love this girl. So they show that in a conservation area with a bunch of rhinos, what they're doing is they are cutting off the horns of the rhinos to keep the poachers from like trying to kill the rhinos. But I'm just trying to understand, like, if they're there, what if they have to defend themselves against like lions and whatnot? Like, how are they supposed to defend themselves? So that's the only thing I have a question about. But I mean, look, man, if it's keeping the rhinos alive, I ain't got no problem with it. But I hope they're in areas where they're just like safe, and because that's like kind of a cruel thing to do. Like he getting chased by a lion, dude got no shot. The lion sees he got no horn, like, oh man, it's dinner time. You know what I mean? Uh, yeah. Again, another tweet about from Dr. Anastasia Maria Lopez, just basically showing that Elon Musk is censoring people about uh, he's censoring people about anybody who's disagreeing with him. He's censoring them on X, taking away their verification. Somebody's doing it, and it's Elon's platform, so he has to be held responsible for it. It's really a shame because I thought we were really over this censorship stuff, but I guess not. Um, Next tweet, I responded to this guy named Anthony Toltree. He's basically saying Iowa State just beat Miami in 42-41. Miami was a top 10 team, fringe CFP team all year. All I've heard from other fans is how bad the Big 12 is. Start showing the Big 12 some respect. Okay, Mr. Anthony Toltree, I have to respond to you directly, which I already did on Twitter, but I'm gonna say this on video, sir. Cam Ward did not play the second half. We were down our top three receivers. We were down two corners, at least two corners, probably more than that actually, but definitely two corners that probably could have played. And we were beating you at halftime. And then we took a 10-point lead without Cam Ward. If Cam Ward would have played in the second half, we would have probably blew you out by like 17, 20 points. You couldn't stop him at all. He was going down the field on y'all like it was nothing. And he was doing this without his top three receivers. Now, Xavier Restrepo and Sam Brown and Isaiah Horton, who transferred to Alabama, were playing. You would have had absolutely no shot. I know Iowa State was missing one of their receivers, but our receivers are way better than yours. But it's okay. You beat us. I'm not really crying over it, whatever. Congratulations to y'all. But for you to try to act like this was some like great victory when we sat our quarterback, who's going to be who should be, definitely will be a top five pick, but should be the number one pick in the draft. That's a little crazy, sir. But okay, whatever helps you sleep at night, sir. The next tweet I'm responding to Cassandra McDonald, who works for the Gateway Pundit. Um, Forgot what her other last name was before, but I guess she got married, so she changed her last name. Okay, which you should do. Uh, so uh, she's basically making a joke about how Elon was basically telling all the people who had a problem with the immigration to go F themselves. And now the next day he's saying we have to post positive content on X when you were cursing us out, when you were cursing out the people who had an issue with the H-1B visas. It's kind of crazy. Like all of a sudden now we're supposed to play nice when you cursing people out for no like for disagreeing with you and whatnot. I think that's a little crazy. I mean, look, man, I just wish people would stop trying to control how people want to talk online. If you don't like it, don't respond. If you think it's offensive, you can block them, you can mute them, you can do all these things. I don't understand why we have censorship on these things. It should be illegal. I wish the government would basically shut down any uh, platform that try to censor any type of speech. Just block the person if the person is racist or cursing too much or posting vile, pornographic, whatever. Just block the person and say, "I don't want to see this guy." Call, move on, dude. I don't understand it. Speech is free here. We have freedom of expression. It's a First Amendment right. It should exist on social media. I really don't see what the issue is. Uh, the next post is this guy who is from sportstalkatl.com. And if anybody watched the Atlanta versus Commanders game in the NFL, Atlanta's coach Raheem Morris, he showed a complete lack of understanding of clock management when he basically, not just in the second half, but in the first half, just basically let the clock run on the final drive where he could have had points and made set up a harder field goal where he didn't really have to set up a hard field goal. Uh, I mean, and it was a big game because they needed that game, and it probably cost them a playoff. It probably cost them a playoff spot. So it was not no small thing. Uh, this is late in the year. He's got to do better than that, man. Like that was a really, really bad display. Like if you can't manage the clock as a head coach, you're not a head coach material. I mean, it's that simple, dude. It's like that's part of the job. You got to do it. It's not hard to call a timeout when you see the clock running down and you have no way to stop the clock or your offense is going too slow. Call a timeout, man. That's all you got to do. It shouldn't be that difficult. Uh, Another post about, so this is from Joel Morin, basically posting Baker Mayfield's stats for Tampa Bay as a starter. Cleveland basically got rid of him for Deshaun Watson, and Deshaun Watson's been awful. Baker Mayfield really didn't do anything wrong. I mean, he wasn't perfect, but certainly wasn't like the problem at Cleveland. And they basically just got rid of him for Deshaun Watson. And Deshaun Watson is absolutely terrible now. He's got probably the worst contract in the NFL. And Baker is soaring high in Tampa doing his thing. So good for Baker. Sucks for Cleveland. But that's just how it's going right now, man. Uh So the White House has announced that they are going to give another $2.5 billion in weapons going to Ukraine. I'm just flabbergasted because this is just more nonsense, and it's just like he's doing this on the way out. I don't even understand how he even has like the authority to do this as basically like, but he's doing it. More money down the toilet that could be going to Americans that need help in different ways. It's just like the government doesn't really like the American people, man. I'm tired of it. I don't hate Ukraine, but they do not deserve our money. It's really, really ridiculous, though. I'm sorry. They want to fight a war with Russia. That has none of our business, though. Is Ukraine going to help us if we go to war with Mexico? No, they're not. Why do we have to help these people? It's ridiculous. We are in debt. You don't help other people before you help your own people first, dude. When we can get our situation a lot better, then we can help other people. Like this is just not right. It's it's really, really unfortunate, and it's sad, man, that the leaders of the government just don't care about Americans. This is why when they say some of the stuff that they say, I don't really get upset because it's mostly true. I would word it a little differently, but it's mostly true. They don't like American people, though. Roger Stone talking about the Trump assassination, and we definitely make some decent points about it. Um, Sounds like they got the second guy, and he's gonna be sent to trial later on this in 2025. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, I was just happy that he was able to survive that, man, because it's kind of crazy. Uh, so it's funny that the University of Miami gets um, criticized for like shady NIL business practices, but every all the players seem to get paid. But six players for Florida State are suing the basketball coach for not getting paid their NIL compensation. So that's going to be an interesting story. I wonder if that affects the football team. I'm not really a Miami basketball fan. I'm a Miami football fan. But if it affects Florida State and gets people thinking that they're not going to get their money, shoot, hey man. So I made a tweet basically saying, because I was watching a soccer game the other day, or it was earlier today, and I was looking at some of these head balls that people were doing, and I was noticing how the defenders were like all up in their grill when they would try to, you know, try to head it. But of course, you have to do that because that's defense, and you're not going to just basically get out the way for a dude to just head the ball wherever he wants to head it. You're going to try and get in his way, make it uncomfortable, even if he's like jumping into you or whatever. And that's just the way competitive sports should be. And I was thinking, why don't they allow that in basketball? Because in basketball, if you try to challenge a jump shot, they're like, "Oh, you can't be in this landing zone." Like, what? That's just stupid. It's the stupidest rule of like, oh my gosh, like I'm just saying, like, I was watching the soccer game and I was just like, man, they don't care about a landing zone. They're just going up and they're just fighting for the ball. And I know it's different in basketball, but it was always as long as you didn't hit them up high, they wouldn't unless you just basically ran the guy over. They didn't worry about you where you landed. They would just want you to challenge the shot. But now it's like you can't really challenge the shot the way you're supposed to, because if you land in their so-called landing zone, they're gonna call a foul, and it's just stupid. That's not how basketball's supposed to be. They need to fix that. It's really, really ridiculous that they do that. They just won't allow you to play no type of defense, and that's why people are taking all these damn 3-point shots, because they know that they can't really challenge the shot. They've made the rule so that they can't really challenge the shot. Um, I got a guy here that's carrying a flamethrower, a little flamethrower around the street. But apparently he got arrested for carrying a weapon of mass destruction. That's really insane. It looks like I don't even know what video game that looks like. That's freaking dangerous that he's like walking around the street with a little flamethrower and he's like shooting that thing out. It's crazy. So he definitely kind of deserved to get he probably deserved to get arrested. I don't know. I mean, I guess my thing is that a Second Amendment issue? But yeah, it's probably a Second Amendment issue. I mean, but I just don't think that he should be shooting off in the street like that. That I mean, if you want to have it in your home, I wouldn't be upset about it. But you just got in the street and you just shooting it off. I don't know. That's kind of crazy. Um, Next tweet is from Emerald Robinson, and basically she's saying, uh, "Oh, because Trump he gave his endorsement for Mike Johnson as the head of the House, or the Speaker of the House. And Mike Johnson has been an absolute disaster. He's been terrible. So the fact that Trump even wants him there is a very bad sign because Johnson is awful. And honestly, this is kind of a lie on Trump's point because he said during his campaign, "Oh, I know who the good guys in Washington are now, and so I'll be able to put in a better staff or whatever." And dude, you know what Mike Johnson is. He is not one of the good guys. And I know that's not necessarily part of his cabinet, but you don't have to give your endorsement either. Why would you give your endorsement on a guy that you know is not? Look at all this money he's given to Ukraine. Like he's not America first. So that's a bad job by Trump. I'm sorry. And honestly, this is kind of the direction I saw him going, and that's why, even though I wish him well and I want him to do well, and I'm hoping to God I'm wrong, this is why I didn't vote for him. This is why I voted third party because of this nonsense, man. Uh, okay, so I'll comment on this. Apparently, I don't know if this is true or not, but I hope it's true. This guy, Phoenix Reloaded, basically saying that 1 million Muslims converted to Christianity in Iran. Hey, man, I'm an American, but I'm a Christian first. I root for Christians wherever they are in the world. My loyalty is to Jesus Christ first. So, man, I'm happy to hear that. That warms my heart. I hope it's true Christianity, uh, faith through grace, grace through faith, and if that is what they are believing, God bless them, man. I just wish them the best, man. Welcome to the team, baby. Uh, so one of the U.S. attorneys retired or resigned. The guy who basically picked on all the J6ers. His name is Matthew Graves. I'm glad he's out. And that's pretty much all I have to say about that. I mean, he did an awful job. And yeah, I'm glad he's out. So it looks like Miami's going to get a new center. His name is James Brockenmeyer. He played for TCU. Was an all honorable Big 12 uh, team guy. Excuse me. Whew. So I'm excited about that because I mean we're gonna need a center. I mean I thought we were gonna bring in like a really good freshman, but I guess they think he probably is not gonna be ready yet. So hey man, one thing I say about Cristobal is that this O line has been lights out pretty much since he's been here. So good for him. Um, Trying to think if there's anything else. Looks like Costco's trying to hold fast to their DEI practices. Um, I think that's one thing that Trump pretty much has control, and a lot of people are gonna get on Costco for that. So I think they'll eventually change their ways. Um, Again, like I said, Mike Johnson as the Speaker, John Thune as the Senate Majority, Marco Rubio as the Secretary of State. I mean, these are not America First people, dude. These are just more of the same. So we'll see what Trump does, but it doesn't look like things are gonna really change with these type of people in power. Uh, so the FBI is putting out a warning to all these athletes in the NFL, NBA, and the NHL because it seems like organized crime are like kind of finding out where these people are living. And when they are playing games, they're breaking into their houses and they're taking all the expensive jewelry that they buy. I think that's kind of crazy. But this is why you shouldn't announce your wealth because, unfortunately, it just makes you a target, man. So it's not their fault, but that's just probably the best way to go is to just kind of lay low, dude. Can't trust these people. You start flossing in front of people, people are gonna target you. That's just how, unfortunately, human nature is. Uh, um, I was watching a little bit of the Clippers game, and it was kind of a controversial finish because DeJounte Murray grabbed James Harden at the end of the game while the game was tied with like 16 seconds left, and he James Harden was able to make a couple free throws. The Pelicans thought it wasn't a foul, so they challenged it, but he clearly grabbed him, and that was what it was, man. Like you got to be smarter than that, and just can't just grab people at the end of the game like that. So Clippers ended up winning. They're playing decent basketball right now. Um, Norman Powell's having a crazy year. I don't know where that came from. I mean, he's always been a good scorer, but man, he's like averaging like 25 a night or something like that. But yeah, the Clippers are doing their thing, man. They're gonna be. I can't say they're gonna be title contenders, but they'll make the playoffs, and I'm sure they'll give it the a good try. But hey, man, good for Tyronn Lue, good for the Clippers. Trying to make the best of a bad situation with that Kawhi situation, man. Um. So yeah, I mean, here's another post about Jimmy Carter, and I don't know, man. Like, seemed like he kind of did some real kind of messed up stuff. Really wasn't a great president. You really hate the fact that this is the stuff that we talk about, but ultimately you talk about what you know the person did and we only know him as president, so you go off his presidency, and that's it. And his presidency wasn't good when he was there, so got to bring up all this stuff that's going on. Um, and I think that's about it. There's other stuff too, but I think that's about it. I'm gonna try to not make this a 50-minute video today. So I appreciate y'all for listening. And like I said earlier, if anybody wants to see a topic that they like, please let me know. Comment, like, subscribe, all that. Appreciate y'all for listening. Thank you guys for paying attention to my videos and stuff like that, man. Y'all have a good night.